Hello everyone, my name is Ediya Francis Kwame and welcome to Ediya Pill. As we dive into the 7 holistic aspects of living, Ediya Pill started with a mental recalibration series, and today I'm happy to bring to you the 4th episode of this mental recalibration series. Let's do a short recap of this series. Episode 1 of this mental recalibration series, we said you are either thinking as a victim or as a builder, where we delved into victim and builder thinking. In the episode 2, we talked about systems versus emotion, whether you are thinking and planning based on systems or based on emotions. In episode 3, we spoke on strategic decision making, where we gave the Ediya Pill Builders framework for strategic decision making. And I'm glad to bring you the episode 4 of this mental recalibration series titled Focus versus Distraction, the hidden wall for your future. So kindly stay tuned and undistracted. There is a subtle war happening around you every day, but most people don't even realize this war. It is not a war fought with weapons, no. It is a war fought for something more valuable, and that is your attention, because your attention determines your focus, and your focus also determines your results. The person who controls your attention would eventually influence your future, and today's world is built on things that would distract you. Talking of endless notification, endless scrolling, constant entertainment, constant comparison. There is noise everywhere. You are redirected to sites you don't want to even view when you turn on your phones, your laptops, and perhaps your digital equipment. And if you are not intentional, right, you would wake up one day realizing something very painful, that you were busy, but you were not building anything meaningful and lasting. And that is what we term as you being busy for nothing, because you were, yes, you were engaged, you were busy, but you did not accomplish anything meaningful at the end. Let me delve deeper into the reality of distraction, because most people believe their biggest problem is lack of opportunity. Personally, I have come to realize that in reality, one of the greatest problems of this generation is not lack of opportunity. It is distraction, because we live in a world where knowledge is very accessible, where learning is even ever easier, and where opportunities are global. Yes, with the help of artificial intelligence, automations, robotics, and technology, knowledge is now accessible. Yes, learning has become easier. When you want to research, when you want to search on things, it becomes easier to use ChatGPT, it becomes easier to use Google to access information. Opportunities are now not local. You can be everywhere in the world and working at other continents. Yes, you can be in Africa and be working in Europe, in America, in Australia, because the world has become a global village and the internet is now the village square. Yet, most people struggle to focus for even 30 minutes of their time. Not because they lack intelligence, no, but because they lack constant attention and focus. And here is the danger: small distractions repeated daily create a distracted life, and a distracted life rarely produces anything meaningful. A distracted life does not produce meaningful achievements. Think about this deeply, even as I ask you something honestly. How many hours this week did you spend consuming content without creating anything of that sort? How many times did you open your phone just for 1 minute to scroll on something, and you end up losing 30 minutes to 3 hours of your time? How many goals have been delayed not because they are impossible? And for most people, they know what to do, but the discipline to sit down and do what they would want to achieve becomes the problem. And because most times your focus is constantly broken. This is the hidden wall for your future. You need to focus on what you want to get. You take the necessary action, you plan, and you put in discipline to get that result achieved. I would want us to delve deeper into how distraction destroys progress. Distraction affects life in three powerful ways. The first is fragmented thinking. Yes, when your attention is constantly interrupted, your mind never goes deep. This is very true because personally, for me, if I want to think deep, if I want to innovate, if I need clarity, I have to sit down on my own, devoid of distraction, before I can think deeper, because meaningful work requires deep thinking. Yes, innovation also requires deep thinking. Clarity also requires deep thinking. And without focus, your thinking remains shallow and you cannot draw deeper into you, because whatever you focus on expands. Yes, if you focus on solution, you expand solutions in your mind and you bring up so many solutions to a particular problem. If you focus on your problems alone, the problem expands and you find out that you cannot solve the problem. So, whatever focus you focus on expands. The second is delayed execution. Yes, distraction creates the illusion of productivity. You feel busy, but very little meaningful work actually gets done or gets produced by you. You respond to messages, you respond to notifications, you check notifications, and you consume information, but your real goals would remain untouched. Your vision will remain untouched, and you would find out that you are delaying execution. Most at times, my mentor told me that is the problem is not that most people don't know what to do, but the discipline to sit down and do what they need to do to get the result is what most people are failing on. And that is why most people cannot achieve their dream of perhaps financial abundance, cannot achieve their dream of perhaps researching or delving deep, upgrading their skills, completing a course, or reading a particular book, because they know what they need to do, but there's discipline to sit down and do what they need to do to get the desired result is what they delay in executing. And every time is not the good time. No, there is time for everything. As I always say, destiny is time dependent. Anything that eats part of your time is eating part of your life. So, not every time is the appropriate time to execute a task or to execute a project. The price you refuse to pay at your youthful age, you will pay it at later age when you are aged with interest. So, you make sure you make your time very valuable. Anything that you have not budgeted or planned for it, that is coming to you as something you have not planned for, you can tell them, could you please let me think about this or something? Yes, because it's your time, it's your life. You only have one life to live, and if you live it well, it will be good enough. The third reason why distraction delays progress is lost time. Time is the only resource, right? It's one resource that cannot be recovered. Yet, distraction slowly drains your time away. 30 minutes here, 10 minutes there, 5 minutes here, 1 hour there, and week turns into months. Month turns into years. And you find out that you are not getting anything accomplished. And people start wondering why their lives are not progressing. Yes, we know how to make money. Yes, we figured out how to make things fastly done, but nobody has figured out how to make more time. We all have 24 hours in a day. There is no technology in this world that has come to the notification of making more time. No. So you don't need to waste your time on unnecessary things. Every day you should have a target to achieve. Every day you should learn a new thing. Yes, I read a book and it says it says that the biggest form of insanity is you doing the same thing over and over again and expecting a different result. No, anything that eats your time is eating part of your destiny, and you should focus on what you give your time to. Let's bring this into the real world, right? Perhaps you are a student. A distracted student study while checking their phone, checking notifications every hour, every minute. But a focused student studies with uninterrupted attention. Both would spend perhaps 2 hours studying, but one will get more deeper understanding while the other gains only surface level familiarity. 5 years, 4 years along the line, the difference becomes visible in their results that they get at the end of the semester or at the end of the study period. Yes, I can give a personal testimony to this. While doing my HND at Accra Technical University, I remember one time I was from a pure technical background, pure engineering. So I went to a technical school. And then, whilst at the university, there was one subject called engineering maths, which is purely elective maths. So the lecturer came to class and I was confused. Is this the course I'm coming to do? Because I had no knowledge, because I went to a pure technical school and we didn't do elective maths in technical. So I was very confused. And at the end of the lecture, I went to the lecturer's office and then I asked, what maths is this? Because the topic was range and it was functions. Yes, fog of F, gulf of F, and those. So I was really confused. And then the lecturer gave me an advice, right? What phone are you using? At that time, I was using an Infinix Android phone. Yeah. So he told me to go and sell that phone and take a Yam phone. Say, wow, that is the sacrifice I would need to give. So I went to Circle. I had a friend at Circle, went to sell the phone and then took a Yam phone. So throughout the HND study, it was getting later to the third year that I got a new Android phone. So I was using Yam throughout the phone because I had a laptop. When I need to search on something, I need to make a research or something, I just have a laptop to use. But to get distracted, notification and all those, no. I was using um a Yam phone throughout. My classmates, they were like, why? It's not like you cannot afford a thing, but that is the focus that I wanted to get while studying. And at the end of the period, I graduated with a very good result. You understand? So one of my mentors also told me that in this life, you can get anything you want, but you cannot get everything you want at the same time. So in accounting, we have what we call opportunity cost. Opportunity cost is cost forgone. Yes. So if you want to get something, you work on a vision, there is something you must lose to get that vision done. And that is what you need to. So you have to set a vision and you find out that, okay, this is what I want to get. Perhaps you are a student, you want to get first class, or you want to graduate with a very good result, or you want to get a skill learn, you want to upgrade a skill or something, you want to start a business, you start with drafting a proposal or something. That is the vision you want to achieve now. Now, you have to pay the price to get that vision done. And in paying the price, there are things you have to cut off or forego. This is what we mean by opportunity cost. So, my mentor would always say, you can get everything you want, but you cannot get all what you want at the same time. No. Perhaps you are a career professional. A distracted professional works in constant interruption. It can be checking emails 2 minutes, 3 minutes, checking the messages, social media, perhaps betting or working lotto during working hours. But a focused professional blocks uninterrupted work periods. This time is for work, this time is for learning, this time is for upgrading my skills, and you work on it constantly. At the end of the day, one produces average results while the other produces exceptional value. Yes, and they end up getting promoted or getting jumped in the corporate ladder. And at the end of the day, you find out that one is being envious and jealous of the other. Meanwhile, the value they all brought was not the same. So everywhere you find yourself in this life, You make sure that you add value to life, you add value to your work, you add value to people. If you want to climb the corporate ladder, you need to bring on exceptional value. It can be helping your colleagues, helping your team achieve or get a project done on time. This is how you bring value to your workplace. This is how you bring value to your career. This is how you bring value to your professional settings. Perhaps you are an entrepreneur. A distracted entrepreneur chases every opportunity. A distracted entrepreneur chases every new trend, chases every new idea. This one worked for this, so I would also venture into that. Yes, I'm not saying that you cannot follow the footsteps of people. Personally, I believe success is predictable. Yes, success can be replicated. That means success leaves clues. If you find what a successful person did and you also follow same trend, follow the footsteps of that person, you can end up being successful if only you are able to discipline yourself into that. Yes, so I'm not saying that you cannot chase trends, you cannot chase new idea. No, but a focused entrepreneur, you should commit to one clear strategy and you execute that strategy consistently. Because focus multiplies efforts. Yes, focus multiplies attention, and distraction divides effort. Distraction divides attention. Whatever you focus on expands. In the beginning, as I shared with you, when you focus on solutions, you find solution. When you focus on problems, you find problems. Yes, let's reframe this the kingdom way, because focus is also a spiritual discipline. Yes, because purpose requires attention. Yes, if your mind is constantly scattered, it becomes difficult to hear direction clearly. It becomes difficult to even hear from God. Quiet reflection, intentional thinking, consistent devotion, this requires focus. Builders protect their attention because they understand something very important. Where your attention goes, that is where your life follows. This is very true. Where your attention goes, that is where your life follows. I already shared with you that whatever eats parts of your time is also eating parts of your life. Let's now delve into Ediya Pill's Builders Focus Framework, because builders protect their future through 5 main focus strategies. Yes, the first is priority clarity. Builders know their topmost priorities. If everything feels important, focus becomes impossible. So I want you to ask yourself, what are the 3 most important areas of your life right now? Because clarity reduces distraction. If at every stage and point of your life, everything you are doing, every task around you is important, then none of them is important. Yes, I'm not saying you cannot have sub-important tasks, but you should have a main goal you are working towards, and you break this goal into long-term goals, medium-term goals, and short-term goals. So every day you are working on a short-term goal, which leads to your medium-term goal and then to your long-term goals. So if at every point you are handling 10 to 15 tasks and all of them feels important for you, then none of them is really important. You would need to sit down, plan well, organize your top priorities very well, and know, this is my topmost priority I'm working towards. So when you break this down into short term, medium term, then you give your all action is now focused on this priority that you would want to achieve, because as I already shared to you, clarity reduces distraction. The second Ediya Pill builders focus framework is time blocking. Builders schedule focused work. Yes, you need to schedule focused work. For example, 90 minutes of uninterrupted study, perhaps 2 hours of deep work, phone notifications off, your environment controlled, because focus requires protected time. And I would always share with you, personally, the first 2 early morning, the first 2 hours of my early mornings are blocked. They are blocked for devotion, blocked for personal study, blocked for planning, blocked for reflection. This is what we mean by you blocking your time. Maybe you would not get that time early morning to do that, but you can also do it during later parts of the day. Some before you go to bed, you block time for productivity. Get to the desired stage of life you want to get into. Your current state cannot take you there. Something must be improved upon. And it is not always physical, it can be mental. So you block time for personal studies. You block time to read. You block time to upgrade skills. You block time to learn. You block time to improve on yourself. And it can be attending a course, reading a book. It can be meeting a friend, finding a mentor. Yes, because whatever doesn't get measured does not get improved. And if you want to get a different result, you need to put in different action to get a desired result. Third, Ediya Pill focus builders framework is digital boundaries. Yes, technology is very powerful. Yes, it has aided in making research, in search, in automations, in robotics, in informations easily accessible. But without boundaries, technology becomes very destructive. So builders limit unnecessary notification, excessive social media, constant digital stimulation. You should have a specific time that you get notifications, you answer all of them within 30 minutes, and then you come back to you being productive. Yes, you don't quick check every minute, every hour, and then you find out that 1 minute turns to 30 minutes, 30 minutes turns to 3 hours. Unproductive. No, you should have digital boundaries because your attention must be protected intentionally, because everybody must have this consciousness on your part to protect your digital attention. Yes, I'm not telling you not to reach friends, not to reach family, not to reach loved ones. No, but you should have a specific time or a framework that you work all within. The fourth Ediya Pill's builder focus framework is single task execution, because builders avoid multitasking when it comes to handling important projects. Builders avoid multitasking. Yes, they focus on one task at a time until that task is completed. Multitasking feels productive, but it reduces quality and slows progress. I already shared with you, if you want to destroy the vision of an unfocused person, you don't take the vision away from them. No, you just add more vision to their vision. And because they want to multitask, because of they being unfocused, they would end up letting go of their initial vision and working on an unserious vision. Yes. So sometimes you would have to multitask, but when you are working on a vision, no, you don't need to multitask. You complete one vision and you work on the other. As I shared with you, if at every point of your life, whatever you are doing is important to you, you are handling about 15 tasks and all of them are important to you, then you don't have any important tasks you are handling. You should have an important task you are handling, and you break those tasks into long-term goals, short-term goals, and medium-term goals. So every day you are working on a short-term goal to get you to a medium-term goal and then eventually to the long-term goal. So you should have an important task you are handling now. The fifth Ediya Pill builder focus framework is reflection and reset. Builders regularly back up and ask questions about their current state and progress. Where did my time go this week? What distracted me? What must I eliminate? What must I improve upon? What must I get to? You need to regularly reflect, you think deep, you meditate on your actions, you meditate on the where you are going, you meditate on the vision. and you regularly reflect on your life, because the more you reflect, the more you bring improvements in your actions, the more you bring improvements in your steps, and the more you have improvement in your decision making. So you find out that I needed initially 1 hour to do this thing, but because I regularly reflect, I discovered a new way of handling this same thing, and now I can use maybe 40 minutes. You reflect again, you find another way, you can use 10 minutes. It allows you to build excellence, eliminating the pain and wastage factor. So you need to regularly reflect, because self-awareness protects your focus. Let's now delve into the Ediya Pill's execution protocol for focus and distraction, right? This week, your Ediya Pill dosage is simple but very, very powerful. Choose one daily activity that requires deep focus, right? It can be studying, it can be working on your happiness, it can be learning a new skill, it can be upgrading a skill, it can be taking a course, it can be buying or reading a book, it can be building a business, structuring a business plan, it can be perhaps a building project or something. Now you create a 60 to 90 minute distraction free block. This is the time where there will be no notification, no social media interruptions and disturbances. You just focus on your effort, you focus on your action, and you repeat this daily. In Atomic Habits, James Clear said, you don't fall to the level of your weakness. No, you fall to the level of your systems, and your systems becomes part of you, because you now become your system. Yes, the first way that we handle responsibility when we are building our behavioral system is we make it easy. You make it easy, you make it accessible, and then you make it restrictive free. Yes, and you would quickly discover something very powerful about one thing, that focused effort produces results faster than scattered effort. This is now your Ediya Pill weekly self-governance audit. I want you to ask yourself honestly, what are the biggest distractions in your life right now? How much time do they continue weekly, daily? And then what boundaries must I create to protect my attention? What disciplines must I create to protect my productivity? And what focus work habits will I build starting from today? Once you start that, you find out that you are now falling to the level of your system, and your system will keep you going. It now becomes part of you, and it forms your identity. This now becomes your belief systems, because whether you like it or not, you believe in it and you will continue doing it. The modern world is moving at a very fast pace, and if you don't concentrate on yourself, you would always be distracted. But builders design their lives to focus, because attention is the currency of your progress. If you want to be productive, you need to focus, you need to be attentive to what you do daily, because the future you create is the future you inhabit. Now, I want you to like, share, subscribe to this platform, because this is Ediya Pill and I am Ediya Francis Kwame. With this channel, we don't just grow, we transform and we live fulfilled. Embrace the holistic journey and let's create the life that our now and future self will be thankful and proud of. Ediya Pill, your dosage to holistic living. Thank you very much for watching, and see you in our next subsequent videos. Remember to protect your focus. Bye for now.